Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Abians, good afternoon, Nigerians. This is still our popular program, popular show, Focal Point, and I remain the anchor of this program. My name remains Emenike Irebu. And with me, obviously, are two politically aware Abians and who have been involved in the political activities in the state for a while. And today they are here to speak to us concerning the man they call Dr. Alex Otti, OFR. I have with me in the studio today, Pastor Dikewanko. Pastor, you're welcome. You've been here. You've always been here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We also have Ferdinand Koma, who is also very popular in Abia State and in our social media space. Fedi, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're not looking bad,
Thank you, and you too, to the punching master. It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You're welcome. Yes, the political activity in Abia State and in Nigeria is kicking in, and everything is getting more serious. Everybody is getting involved. Just a few weeks ago, your principal, Dr. Alex Otti, declared to run again for the position of governor in Abia State. Remember that Alex Otti has been a two-time governorship candidate for the All Progressive Grand Alliance, but now he's a chieftain of All Progressive Congress. How has it been since his declaration, Ferdinand?
Well, it's been interesting. It's been tough. It's been tedious. It's been, revealing. The people, those who were thinking, who were not too sure if he was actually going to run again or not, got convinced that he's indeed going to run again. A lot of people who had expressed concern, who were afraid if he had retreated, became excited because they know that he is passionate about changing the narratives in Abia. They understand that he's prepared for the job of governance and that it would be a tragedy if he didn't declare. So a lot of them felt this sense of relief. After everything, prior to that time, a lot of people had carried all kinds of rumors. Some said he wasn't running again, some said he had moved to so political party and all the rest of them. But in the end, of course, like I had told you, that at the appropriate time, he would declare. And of course, he has finally declared to run. And because he believes that he's on a journey, and he has always said that he's on a journey, and it's until he gets to his destination, he will not stop. So we are all on a journey with him. He declared, and since that time, it's been, all kinds of activities. People are lining up, people are realigning, people are identifying, people are asking questions on the next line of action.
Okay, Ferdinand Koma, let me ask Pastor Dikewanko. A lot of groups have been consolidating, praising Dr. Alex Otti for declaring. A lot of people have been sending facilitation messages, appreciating him. Why do you think we have these people who are always turning towards Dr. Alex Otti and his aspiration?
Yeah, very interesting. Firstly, his consistency and his capacity to deliver. People feel, amongst all who have declared interest to run for governorship in Abia, he's the only one that has remained consistent since he started in 2015. Consistent in the sense that he is the only voice of opposition, the only one who speaks for the masses. In Abia, we know what has been happening. Now you see a lot of people contesting in this party, in that party. People are asking, where have they been? And now they are talking. They are attacking themselves, saying this, oh, you didn't do this one well, you went to collect loan, I was the one who helped you, and all of those things. People are asking, where have you been? But there's only one man who has remained with the people. Even when governor went to commission a talk on the radio about the bridge he was building, he was one who said, no, the bridge concerns us. It became popular. Bridge Basarai, it concerns us. So he has been speaking for the people. And that is why when they heard that he is declaring and that he has declared, they say, oh, thank God. I wish APC would give him ticket. And that is what every leader in APC has been told, that this is the man, is a brand. Yes, we appreciate APC as a platform, but this is the brand we want to use for this fight. You have the good, the best, the better, the best. So Alex Otti falls within the range of the best. We are not castigating any other aspirants because they are all qualified. But Alex Otti is amongst the best. Right now in APC Abia, he is the best. And that is why they are trooping and coming to him.
Okay, let's even draw a question from your statement just now. There was this statement made by one of the PDP gubernatorial aspirants where he said that he facilitated a loan for the state government. And at the end of the day, Dr. Alex Otti's name also dropped into that matter, that he stopped that same loan. What exactly happened in that circumstance?
Well, we are really not interested in getting involved in the war of words with respect to who facilitated what and who didn't. But it's good that we are getting vindicated. First, what Dr. Alex Otti did was to communicate to the appropriate authorities because of the strategy adopted, the questionable strategy adopted in seeking that loan. When they sought for that loan, what was presented to the National Assembly and approved contradicted what they later went for. So when Dr. Alex Otti discovered that inconsistency, he took the necessary actions. You know, actions sometimes speak loudly about your intent. If you say, if I come to you and present the necessary documents and say, I am looking for 10 naira loan, midway into the day, I suddenly, come up with a different thing, suspicious things, and say, I now need 15 naira. You begin to look at me and say, after all, this guy came up with a proposal and told me what he wanted to do, and suddenly he's now talking about it. That was the kind of thing that transpired. And because Alex Otti understood the implication of what they were plotting to do, he intervened, swiftly intervened with the necessary facts, and the authorities concerned, got involved, responded positively by putting a hold on the loan. Now, if they later went through the back door and reorganized themselves and changed the documents and secured the loan, as claimed by the man, because the accuser said they got in touch with him, that he assisted them, that's their own business. But it's also, like I said, it's good that some of the people, including those who attacked Otti, who criticized him that time, are now saying the man has been vindicated. That because the PDP aspirant who was accusing them said, go to Okwan, was at Okwan the other day, I almost cried. The money that these people got, they didn't do anything with it. We just kept quiet because we didn't know what to say at that point in time. When Alex Otti acts in the best interest of Abians, for the good of Abians, you will say he's playing politics. The people who were accusing him of playing politics are now saying the same things. All those things he was saying before, but especially people in PDP. That's what makes it more interesting.
So these days, referring to Ebonyi used to be an issue. If you refer to Ebonyi, but now it seems as if
the same people are making reference to
in-house are now referring to Ebonyi every time. Ebonyi.
Because that time when we made reference to Ebonyi, they will attack us and tell us how the wage bill is how Abia's wage bill is the biggest in the whole world. Today, it's changing. From within the same PDP, all those things we have been saying is what they are saying now. Okay. So it puts serious question mark on the intent of some of the aspirants. We are not interested in discussing them, but at least we feel vindicated that the truth we have been saying is becoming popular now. People are accepting it. The masses have always accepted what Dr. Alex Otti has been saying, but the elites who said we are lying, some of them who kept quiet or said we are lying, are now coming out to say what Alex Otti has been saying is the truth.
Okay, let's still talk about an issue which Pastor Kike raised. You talked about Alex Otti being the face of opposition in Abia, being the vocal voice. We have other opposition leaders. Why do you think Dr. Alex Otti has taken upon himself to be what you describe him as?
It's a passion. It's a passion. It's not something you want to learn. It comes from within. You can't give what you don't have. This is a man who has been identified with the best competence. His penchant for competence is something that is infectious. You can't be in a place that things are not moving well and you keep quiet. You are either an accomplice. And that is why we can't take other people seriously. Because you cannot be in a place where things are not moving well and you keep quiet.
Some people have said that it's not their style to criticize governments. That is not the style.
Why it's not correct? Why it's not correct? It's not correct because in your own house, where you are a father, You can't stay there and say it's not my style to correct my children. You can't say that. When things are not moving well, you must say this is not right. That's why you're a human being. That's why you're free morally. You can say this is not right. When you don't say it, you are saying that, one, you don't know what to say. Two, you don't even understand what is happening, or you are an accomplice. You must be three of the above.
Okay, as an addendum
Okay.
to what Pastor Dike just stated
Mhm.
now, you see, this is a state, and what constitute a state are the institutions that belong to the state. You have your educational institutions, you have health institutions, you have agric institutions, you have infrastructure institutions, you have all kinds of institutions that constitute a state. Now, somebody that is presiding over the affairs of a state will be owing workers in a particular institution 38 months salary arrears, owing pensioners. And you know that once a pensioner dies, his or her pension arrears are gone. You know that. So what happens when somebody who had given his or her best working for the state retires and expects you to pay him or her entitlements, and suddenly you refuse to pay, and when he dies, it's gone? What does he say? That's the worst form of injustice. And these are things we take for granted. Look at the tragedy that has befallen Absut. And people expected us in the face of such, leadership atrocities to keep quiet. Now, the question we ask them is, if everybody keeps quiet and decides to wait until the election period before you begin to talk, what if the state you want to govern sinks completely? What if all the institutions collapse and disappear? Which state would you preside over? If all the people, the civil servants and pensioners are starved to death, which people are you going to preside over their affairs? So when Alex Otti talks, he says, hey, it's not your style to do this. No. What you should do, get in constructive engagement, issue-based engagement, and that is what Alex Otti has always done. He doesn't even have the time. It's not as if he wakes up and starts, you go here, you talk. No, they know the truth. So what the man has been doing is to say, this is not how it should be. When you take loans and you don't account for these loans, and we look around the environment, we don't see anything, we look around, we don't see anything, it shows that something is fundamentally wrong. So when you are called out, when you are called to order, and you begin to attack, or people who say they belong to the opposition, you keep quiet, you down and one with them, to appear good. The thing by appearing good, tomorrow they will tell you to come and take power. Then after everything, you come back here to tell us that you want to govern the people. Which people do you want to govern? The people you ignored and abandoned. It's not only during election that leaders talk. You talk when the people need you, when the people need you most. That's the difference. And that is why Alex Otti stands out in the midst of the people.
Okay, we've been discussing with two gentlemen who are aides to Dr. Alex Otti, OFR. Of course, Dr. Alex Otti is a two-time governorship candidate in Abia State under the All Progressive Grand Alliance, but now he's a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress. And we are discussing so many other things and so many more to come. So let's go back to our discussion. Of course, His Excellency Ferdinand has, Dr. Alex Otti has picked the form. How has it been from picking the form? What has been happening?
Of course, that was what followed the declaration, and it was greeted, widely celebrated by those who were expecting it. And what that means, of course, he has picked the forms, submitted the field, and submitted the forms, and now they've done the screening. So it's step by step. Everything is going well. We are pushing. The primaries of the party is supposed to take place on Friday, the 20th of May of this month. And we are expecting nothing but the best. And that is actually the main reason why we're here. The APC members at all levels are using this opportunity to appeal to them, to prepare their minds and do the needful. Of course, we've been hearing from them say, this is who we want. This, if our party gives its ticket to this man, it will just be half done. The job will be half done. And we are here to speak to everyone, members, stakeholders, party officers at all levels, that we are going to a battle. Not only a battle of destruction, but a battle to win, reclaim, and restore Abia to Abians. So we're urging everyone, talk to your friend, talk to your brother, talk to your party ally on the D-Day. whichever mode of primary the party is going to adopt, come out and vote. If it is a delegate kind of primaries, remember that you have the best man for the job, and the best man is Alex Otti. If it's going to be direct primaries, come out with your membership card and other things, come out there and vote for Alex Otti because he is prepared. He is a known figure. He's a known name. People already know what he stands for. You wouldn't be burdened with the task of going to say, people asking you, who is your candidate? You say, this is my candidate. He just begin to stammer, trying to introduce and explain. But Alex Otti, people already know what he stands for. Straight. This is who I am. This is what I am. These are my antecedents. These are my accomplishments. These are my allies. This is my vision for Abia. So it's very easy. And that is why we are reminding our people that this is a critical time. Because the truth is that this is a step, second to the last step. Because after electing the candidate, the next thing is the main election. So whatever decision you are taking at this moment, remember that your brother, your mother, your auntie, your sister, your uncle, who might be a pensioner or a civil servant or a businessman who is affected by the policies and programs and actions of the government that are not in order. Think through it. Remember insecurity in this part of the country, that the major architect of these security challenges we are experiencing is bad governance. That if youths are taken care of, if responsible governance is given to the people, if youths are employed and taken out of the streets, if the right things are done, pensioners are paid, workers are paid, our institutions are, that you, as a sick person that needs a health emergency, and there is no viable health institution out there to take care of you, you are half dead. These are things people must think. So do not begin to think that Alex Otti is soliciting for your vote. You are doing him a special favor. I'm sorry to say it. You are not doing him a special favor. Because without sounding immodest, he's accomplished. He has gotten to the peak. So if it was all about coming to make money, to drive good car, to live in a good house, to train your children in school, all these things have been accomplished. So we must realize the challenges confronting Abia. It is not a personal thing. We're not condemning the government. We're not here to condemn the government, but to remind you that we've not had our best. That's the truth. And the situation on ground clearly shows that we are lagging behind, and we must halt this, drift.
Okay, Pastor Dike, picking from where Ferdinand Ikoma stopped, why do you think delegates should queue behind Dr. Alex Otti?
Yes, we have said it repeatedly. They should keep behind him because he's a man of character. He's a man that has capacity. In every election that he has run, he has stayed focused, persistent, up to Supreme Court. This is a show of readiness. Now, there are a lot of people who come to contest for election that come to pretend. They pretend they're contesting, but they're not contesting. So it is dangerous to follow a man who is not on a journey. But you that is following you on a journey, it's dangerous. It's hurting. Several aspirants are not contested. Some people have gone to look for appointments in Abuja and say, "Oh, why not go and buy form? If you are an aspirant, it will help you to get an appointment." There are people like that. So why people, APC members, should queue behind Alex Otti is basically because he is running for this election. I say this category, he's running for this election. He's running to win. He's running to be elected. He's not testing the waters. This is not a time for experimentation. We have done a lot of experimentation. This is time for the real thing. It's not becoming a governor of a state is not wishful thinking. This is a man who has his blueprint well carved out. If you have the privilege of seeing it, we don't need to beg anybody. And you know what attracted me most to him? He told me, he said, that there are funds for development lying in some places. Until you know it, you will not be able to know. And he said he's not going to depend on federal allocation in Abuja to develop Abia. He knows where these funds are by virtue of his experience. And what these people are looking for, people that have character, integrity, that these funds will be utilized. Like we're talking about loans now. What is the meaning of taking a loan when nothing can be seen on ground? It shows that as the loan is coming in, it's going from the other side. But the man said there are places there are financial institutions where you can easily access very good loans, very good funding that can help you ensure that the critical areas of infrastructure in the state is being enhanced. And this is something that he knows. And again, from his antecedents also, he's a man that has grown to the peak. If you want success, follow a successful man. It's as simple as that. If you want to be successful, follow a successful man. You cannot be failing and failing out over experiences, attempting and you're failing, and you want people to follow you. If you want us to follow you, show us your record. And his record speak eloquently. And that is why in fact, the truth of the matter is that members of APC know this, but we still have to use this medium to appeal to them once more. Look, we know there are a lot of sentiments. When your brother is contesting, are you going to leave me, your brother? But it's beyond sentiments. The issue of governorship of Abia is beyond sentiment, because we're talking about the entire state. You can do that in House of Assembly if you want to. You can do that in House of Reps if you want to. Senate, you can even do that. But in states, governors of this state, we can't afford to do that. This state is on an emergency, and it is only when we bring out the best. Even the oppositions are part of the reason why they are also busy trying to see that the man does not emerge. Why? Because they know that he is the only one that can challenge them.
Okay, Ferdinand, we're rounding up our interaction now. Of course, your party is there are so many issues within your party, and most Abians who are in support of Alex Otti are saying, if only they can give him, if only they can, if only they can. They are scared of the internal wrangling in your party, the APC. With all this internal wrangling, how can you assure them that this only if they can become they can?
Well, I sincerely understand the fears of such people. When you have the burst and you see signs that appear to be signs of danger, of course you are bound to become scared. But this is a divine project. This is a project that has been destined to end in victory, and we are confident. It's not just about wishes. It's not about assumptions. It's not about thinking. But it's all about conviction, anchored on hard work. He's doing the needful, but then we are not taking the place of God for granted. So we are assuring our people that Alex Otti is working very hard to ensure that we secure the APC ticket. And many respected and reasonable, articulate and experienced, selfless individuals are also supporting him and praying and wishing that he succeeds, he gets the ticket, because it will be in the interest of everybody. So we are encouraging our supporters, our Abians, millions of Abians who are entertaining fear, to remain strong, that by the special grace of God, by this time Friday, if the election is not shifted, Alex Otti would have been declared the winner of the APC governorship primaries, and he will become the candidate. It will be in the interest of every APC member for that to happen, and that is why we are assuring them to remain strong, that Alex Otti is doing the needful, and we believe that God will cap his effort with victory. We are confident.
Okay, Pastor Dike, there are also some people who are saying that Alex Otti has tried, that he has tried his best, that it's time to go and rest. What are you going to tell those people?
Very, very straightforward. If you're on a journey and you have not reached your destination, it will be foolishness to turn back. It's as simple as that. When you're on a journey, you are determined to get to a point, and you're not. In the first instance, who even told you that on that journey it will be smooth? Nothing good comes easy. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, there'll be, the point is that you're focused, you know where you're going. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, he did this thing 3 times. The 3rd time he cried. A general cried. A general cried. And people said, oh, you have tried. Even himself said he was not going to do again. But somehow, he gathered some courage again, and he did. And what are we seeing today? He's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he has done the 2nd time, and it's ended. So what we want to tell those people is that they should not bother. A man on a mission, a man who knows where he's going, cannot be deterred by distractions around. That is the point. He until he gets there, until he gets to where he's going, he can't stop. And we who believe in him, a lot of Abia APC members who believe in him, will not even want him to stop. Because there would have been serious uproar if he didn't declare. like you pointed out, people felt this is the only option we have because it's a brand. APC today needs a brand because APC does not have the luxury of bringing up a candidate that will be packaging. Yes, we don't need to package a candidate. We need a candidate that will package APC.
Okay.
In Abia.
Okay. Before you say something, let me give my final question for today. If you have anything extra to tell the delegates, then you can say it now. You can answer and then.
Okay. As an addendum, something Dr. Alex Otti has always said. He said, "This is Johnny. This battle, this contest is not about him. That he must not be the governor. That is the truth, and he meant it. He said, I must not be the governor. If you believe there is another person out there that has the same zeal, the same willingness, the same capacity, and is ready to, he can come and do it. I must not be the governor. After all, if the people in charge had done well, I wouldn't bother myself with the task of, battling to become governor. So people should understand when you say he has tried, can go and rest. It look as if a man is contesting maybe to become, I don't know how to put it, to just win something for himself, win a trophy for himself. No. This is a serious issue of governance. It's our state. And when you get to a certain level where you are respected nationally and internationally, and certain things are happening in your state and it's becoming a thing of embarrassment and mockery, people know, somebody like you are here, what is happening? What are we hearing about your state? What's actually happening? And your state consistently appears in the news for the bad reasons. At certain level, if you have that God blessings and have the courage, because this thing requires a lot of courage to do, and he has the courage, so why would he stop? Because a few individuals, the people who say he has tried, he should go and rest, are usually politicians who are benefiting from the rot, not the ordinary masses who are suffering. If the people who are suffering and want a change in the system can't tell you the man should stop, no, because they know that they will be the real beneficiaries of whatever success that is recorded in the government. And finally, like you requested, my message to APC members is very straightforward. Prepare yourself. On Friday, if the primaries will go ahead, come out and vote for Alex Otti. He is the best man for the job. You need a candidate that will reach out. Alex Otti is prepared to reach out across board, across political lines, across sectional lines. You need somebody who would not come with that sense of entitlements that he is only him. Alex Otti is not the type that is not ready to lend his ears. Of course, if you have had encounters, you will ask anybody, ask him in meetings and everything. He listens to everybody. He will keep quiet and listen to everybody. He's not the type that will convene a meeting. If you want to say, he will tell you to sit down because you are small or this, because he feels you are saying nonsense. No. That's the difference. You need a candidate in APC who will listen to everybody, who will pay attention, who will admit where he is wrong, who is ready to reach out to collaborate with everybody. Because if you are running, you want to become a APC candidate, you think you are Lord, you think you can lord it over everybody, you think you are not ready to listen to anyone, how are you going to win? Governorship is a big task. It's not an easy thing. It's not something you wake up and you think you win overnight. Maybe you're banking on somebody will give you the contact to write a result and become governor. It doesn't work that way. So you must be ready to reach out. We must support somebody who has the structure, somebody who is known in every nook and cranny of Abia State, somebody who has the zeal, the willingness to collaborate with everybody. Because if you present a candidate that doesn't have the capacity, that is unpopular, that has no structure, what will happen is that he will just be a walkover for PDP, and that's what PDP is praying for. So we are definitely not going to allow that to happen, and that is why Abia's APC is going to present its best by the special grace of God in the person of Alex Otti, and we are urging our members, those who may have fallen victim to the deceitful assurances from some individuals, please, Alex Otti is the best man for the job, and when he gets the ticket, we are convinced that the majority of the other leaders are going to queue behind him, because they know that he's open to working with everybody who wants the best for Abia.
Yes, we want to thank you so much for being on this show with us. Of course, you've heard from Ferdinand, you've heard from Pastor DK. It's up to you to make up your mind. And also your opinions are expected. You can drop your opinions. You can send it to the phone number available there. You can also call us for any further interaction. God bless you and have a wonderful day. My name remains Emenike Rebo, the anchor of this show, Focal Point. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, the Punching Master.
Thank you very much.
Pastor DK, are we off?